Greetings, Star Wars fans. We have another video review for you today. This time we're taking a look at the Wal-Mart exclusive 3.75-inch Black Series Poe Dameron X-Wing pilot figure. This is one of my favorite action figures in the 3.75-inch Black Series line. And Poe is just an awesome all-around character. I'm really excited to see what role he will play in Episode 8 and Episode 9. If you guys haven't done any research on Poe, then you know he was actually supposed to die in that TIE fighter crash sequence on the planet of Jakku. And Oscar Isaac had portrayed several roles previously in films where he died early on. So J.J. Abrams had the script rewritten to include Poe throughout the rest of the film, and I think that worked out very nicely. And I really appreciate, as a fan, the effort and time and the research that Oscar Isaac put into being an X-Wing pilot. And there's a lot of things that are minute on screen that have actually become canon. I mean, as far as different places where he activated, buttons inside the cockpit, or what lever he pulled to close the S-foils back into cruise mode. All of that sort of thing has become canon now. So that's really fascinating. And I just appreciate the attention to detail that he and the writers and directors and producers put into the character itself. Now, for those of you who have been watching my reviews, I have a couple more reviews that I'm going to do after this one on some Star Wars toys. And then I'm going to be taking a break for a while. I'm going to be focusing on some video discussions / review of the Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars RPG entitled Force and Destiny. The RPG itself actually has 3 separate and distinct avenues of play based upon the Rebellion, the Empire, and the Jedi. And the Force and Destiny is focused upon Force-sensitive and Jedi characters. And I'm just going to talk mainly about some topics and things related to the RPG that are relevant to the Star Wars universe that I think you guys will enjoy. So, taking a look at the figure, beside it, I have the 5-point of articulation Poe Dameron X-Wing pilot figure that came with this X-Wing. And if you've seen the previous review that I did on this X-Wing, then I've discussed that figure before. But what I want to do is compare the similarities and differences of these figures and show what the Black Series figure will and will not do, and give you guys who haven't purchased it an opportunity to decide if you want to invest in it or not. So first off, I want to look at the helmets right here. This black helmet is the one that comes with the Black Series figure. And if you look at it, it's screen accurate. It's black with the white and red striping on it. It has the Rebel Starbird logo on it with a gray background, yellow tinted visor, and a microphone down here. This is the one that came with a 5-point of articulation figure. And you see it is not screen accurate. It is done in a gray with a red striping and a red Firebird logo here, a red Squadron logo on the side. And the microphone is part of the gray plastic here that's molded. And it has mostly a clear lens to it. So it's not screen accurate. Another thing that you'll see right off of the bat is this helmet sits a little bit higher than this one does. It's actually larger on the outside diameter. The blast shield sits a little bit higher. That's sort of strange because the Black Series figure has a larger head than the 5-point of articulation figure over here. I tried to put this helmet on the 5 POA figure and it was sort of loose. And I'll get to why I did that in just a minute. So looking at the Black Series figure, they all have 22 points of articulation. I've pointed that out in some of the previous reviews, so I won't take the time to go into that here. What I do want to look at is the differences in scale of these two figures, as well as the paint apps. And right off of the bat, you see this figure is taller. His hair color is a different shade of brown. It's a lighter brown. His shoulders are wider, and there's more attention to detail here on the flotation vest. And if you actually up close, you really can't see it on the camera, but if you see it in person, his collar has that rib section where he's wearing that insulated under tunic, and that's something that they wear under the flight suit for thermal reasons. If you look at his chest box here, you see that the has some nice detailing in the paint apps, where this one is mostly just a dull gray with a darker gray shaded area in the middle. If you look at the hose on this one, it sticks out just a little bit more protrusive here in front of the figure, where this one is closer to the body. The parachute webbing here, the buckles are painted silver, where they are not painted on this figure, and the webbing is actually molded into the figure itself, where on the Black Series figure, it is a separate piece of plastic. Down here on the 5-point of articulation figure, you can just make out the bandolier with the emergency flares on it. They are not painted. And the additional gray strapping around his right ankle. Here the buckles are painted, as are the flares. His boots are also more pronounced, with the ribbing on it like a duck boot here. And it's just slightly done on these with just 1 or 2 lines, where it has more detailing here. They both have blaster pistols in holsters on their side. Same type of pistol. You see the detailing here on the vest, black dot, where it's not on this one. The only thing that the Black Series 3.75-inch figure, as well as the 5 POA figure, does not have, that the 6-inch Black Series figure does have, is the Arbish writing that is upside down here that says "pull to inflate" on the vest. That's the only thing missing. On the back of the figure, the detailing is nicely done. On the vest, here you see the ribbing and cushioned area and that sort of thing. You see the strapping come down and the buckle here. All of that is nicely done. On the 5-point of articulation figure, there is some detailing here, same marking here. It's just not as well done as it is on this figure. Now, one thing I'm going to point out that most of you are not going to like at all, and that is the Black Series 3.75-inch figure will not fit in the cockpit of this X-Wing. I spent the better part of an hour trying to adjust his legs and hips, his knees, everything else to get him to fit in here, and he absolutely won't. If someone has gotten him to fit in here, message me on YouTube and tell me how you did it. Because his leg joints are made differently. The 5-point of articulation figure is designed just for that purpose. His legs go straight out like this. So it's no problem to recline him and get him to fit in by squeezing his shoulders. The Black Series figure, if you try to move his legs up, they actually move out like this, just slightly. And they are really restricted by the parachute harness. But he is not going to fit inside the X-Wing. So one option that you have, if you want a screen-accurate appearance of Poe flying this, and I'm going to remove him for just a moment, is simply to take the Black Series helmet and place it on the 5-point of articulation figure, like such. Recline him and place him in the cockpit. That's your best option right there. Because there's no other way to get this figure in that cockpit. These cockpits are narrower than previous X-Wing molds, but this X-Wing overall is larger than the Power of the Force X-Wing and the original X-Wings that came out from the original trilogy. And they look marvelous. I mean, they are just Really, really nicely done. They're a work of art. But the cockpit is narrower, and because of the design of the cockpit, as well as the limitations of adjusting the leg joints on the Black Series figure, you're not going to get him in the cockpit, unfortunately. For display purposes outside, that's well and good. But other than that, he is not going to fit. So that leaves me with this helmet. And I have some intentions for it, for Nia Nub, to try and customize a flight helmet for him. I don't know that it's going to work. But if I do get it to work, I'm definitely going to do a review on it so you guys can see what I did. But for the time being, you're going to have to accept a 5-point of articulation figure in the cockpit of your X-Wing. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Star Wars Force Awakens Walmart exclusive 3.75-inch Black Series Poe Dameron X-Wing pilot figure. Hope you guys have enjoyed the review. Have a great day. May the Force be with you.